Babe, can you kindly mute your mic or exit the session if you are not interested?
It's okay. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the section. So please let's try and mute our mic. I know it's not easy. We've come back from work, so let's try and mute our mic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So like I said, this I've just started the live stream. So please let's try to be very cautious with our words and all that. Okay. For the sake of identity, when you are asked to speak, please do not mention the name of the trust you applied for. Just do not mention the name of what are they calling it? Or maybe if you want to say I graduated from this school, rather than you call it the name of the school, just say school. Okay, and as much as you can protect the name of things, or you can just create another name. You already know the name, but just for the sake of your confidentiality. All right. So thank you so much for that. Okay. All right, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't speak. You must speak in this space. Is a must. So now the question is, how do we ensure that factors related to me do not affect my interview? Yes, I know that interview could be related to factors related to the interview success could be related to factors related to the interviewer, factors related to the interviewee, factors related to tech, could be maybe your network and all that's not maybe something just happened, factors related to the environment. Okay, so how do you ensure that as much as possible, anything that I can control, I try to control it to ensure my success? Now we'll start with factors related to the environment, and I believe by now most of you must have watched our previous videos on how to prepare for your interview. If you haven't had international interview before, you must be aware that most of the interviews, if it's not held physically and is held online, are being used with team meetings. It's called a Teams app, Microsoft Teams app. They use Microsoft Teams app to carry out their interviews. And if you're having an interview, you have to ensure that your environment is very quiet and peaceful. Nobody likes a noisy place. You have to ensure that your background, if possible, you can make it blur. As now I try to blur my own background to make it like at least so that my interviewer will not be distracted of what is going on behind me. You understand? So they can focus on what I am saying, the content I am giving to them. All right. We don't want so much nitty-gritty going on in the background. Plain background will do. All right, very important. You have to ensure that I talk about factors related to noise. It's this is very, very important. Okay. Another thing you have to ensure it's factors related to technology. Do you know how to use the Microsoft Teams app? I've given you an expo today that the app they normally use for their interview is Microsoft Teams. So what will you do when you finish this interview today? If you do not know how to use the app, play around with it. Watch YouTube video on how to use it. Try to video call your friends. Try to video call your family. Try to video call your husband. Try to video call your children. Just play around so that at least an interview, you will know how to present yourself. You will know that you are good with the technology, okay? Another thing you can do as well is you can practice watching yourself via a video. So people are actually camera shy. So when they are doing a video call or they're speaking to people, they get scared. They stammer. They don't know what to say. It's not like they are not good enough. It's just the fact that they are camera shy. They're not confident. But if you're talking to them on a normal phone call, you will see them giving content. They are dishing you content. You'll be like, I must see this person. But when you now start the camera call with them, the video call, you see them stammer. And it's not because they are not good. It's because of the fact that they are camera shy. So what you need to do is to ensure that you practice with camera. You just put on your video and talk to it. See how you see, look at your beautiful face, right? Look at how you look with the camera. Check out yourself. It's time to admire yourself before the interviewer start admiring your beautiful faces. So it's very important that you do that. Okay, so that's one part. Another thing you have to ensure is your network. Unfortunately, where we are, in Nigeria is the place whereby network is not still functional at this age and time, and it's just the truth. Or wherever you are, some African countries as well. If you're not from Nigeria, yeah, you're from other African countries and you're joining us today, you're welcome. But it's also the fact that at times network fluctuates. Even in the UK, networks still fluctuate. So you must have at least understood your environment. If you've been living there for a while, how is the MTN network in this environment? Is it good? Is it something that can fuck up anytime? Is it a particular place? Maybe my church. If I go to the back of my church and sit down there, network is good. If I go to my sister house, network is better. If I go to my friend's house, I do not have bad belly for me, because that's another thing too, yeah? Is it better? If I go to stay in my husband's room, is it better? So we're supposed to know which place do we think network will favor us. If you have a MiFi or you can get a MiFi for your interview, it's fine. You know, any factor that you know that you can control, it's always best to control it in an interview, okay? Always best to do that. So do not forget that. Make sure you tell people around you, tell your friends, your husband, your family that, please, I'm having an interview at this time. Could I please have some quietness in the house? You can tell your neighbor, please, I have something important to do. Could I have some quietness at this time? Or you can go to a place that's always quiet to have that interview. All these are just factors to ensure that you have a very good and successful one, and you are calm. Okay. Now, factors related to you as an individual. I'm not going to tell you today, don't be scared, don't be scared, don't be anxious. It's a lie. No matter what I say today, don't be scared and anxious. It cannot reduce your anxiety. You are still going to be scared and you are still going to be anxious. Okay. What I will simply tell you is you ask yourself a question: what do I gain by being scared? What do I gain by being anxious? What do I gain is I gain fear. And when I fear, what happens to people that fear? They stammer, they lose courage in themselves. Okay, so you just need to tell yourself, oh, I did an interview section with Express. I've had my friends, I've spoken to them, and they say that I am good. So it means I am good. And most of the questions they ask me during the interviews, I know the answer. So what more can they ask me in my current interview that I will not pass? As you can tell yourself is, I'm a nurse. No matter what they ask me as a nurse, it's something I can really play around with. It's something that I've done. How can I take care of someone that fall on the floor? How can I take care of someone that has pressure sore? And how can I take care of someone that has high blood pressure, low blood pressure? Is what I do every day as a nurse. So it's just for me to translate them into words. And again, I have prepared for this interview for a while. And so I should be able to give my best. Okay, so these are the things that we need to tell ourselves during interview sections. Okay, it's very important. We tell ourselves all this. Because if we do not do that, we stand the chance of being scared. We stand a chance of making mistakes, you know? And then we tell ourselves, I've been looking for this interview since thy kingdom come. And interviews are not we don't see it every day. So it's best for me to just give my best. And I know that I've given my best, okay? And what more can I lose if I give my best? Nothing. I gain. At the end of the day, it's either I gain or I gain. If I don't get it, I still gain because I've gotten the experience. And if I get it, I still gain because I've gotten the job. So it's a win-win situation. You really have nothing to lose. So just go there and smash it, okay? So I'm not going to tell you to be scared. I'm simply telling you to ask yourself a question. What will I gain by being scared? And tell yourself. So there was a time I was going for an interview and I was about to enter the hospital and I was scared. I was like, what if I didn't get it? And a word came to my mind. If you know that you're already scared before stepping in there, don't bother going for that interview because you will feel it. But if you know you believe in yourself and you are prepared because you've been preparing, then go and smash it. So I was like, okay, that was just how I changed my mindset and I went in there and I just smashed it. In fact, when I was having the interview and I was talking, I was even asking myself in my mind, is this me talking? And the interviewer was just smiling and I just knew I had gotten the job. So it's just for you to tell yourself all of that, okay? Now, another thing are factors relating to yourself, because I'm not going to talk about factors relating to the interviewer, because that's their factor. Okay, the only thing is that make sure that your background is not this so nitty-gritty that they will have to be distracted and not listening to you. Okay, another thing is, so many of us like to form phonetics, phone, whatever. I don't know why we are doing that, sincerely speaking. I don't know why. There's no point, because if you form phonetic, they will not hear you. They will not hear what you are saying. So what's the point? It's Indians that get job every day, and I tell you, they do not form their voice. I can tell you any day, anytime. They do not in any way form their voice. It's the way they speak. It's the way they speak. And they're the one getting interviewed to the UK. So why should you be forming your voice? They are still the one that is passing IELTS. So, and they're still like the people that are making like the top money in the UK. So what's the point of forming their voice? I mean, after all, our recent prime minister is from Indian heritage. So there's no point forming voice, because most of the time when you form your voice, you get thought block because you're still trying to form voice. And apart from that one, you're still trying to like, what big English can I speak? What big English? Nobody's interested in your big grammar. Oh. It's better for me to use simple English that they understand than for me to speak big English, because it's not everybody in the UK that even go to school. God forgive me, but it's the truth. Because the truth is that many of them prefer hand-skilled work. Many of them just stop in after their diploma. They don't go higher. You understand? They just get more certificates to keep going higher. So at times, even the big grammar self, you play say you even understand the big grammar past them. So it's best to just speak simple, plain English. Okay? Simple, plain English, and talk normally. Talk normally. No need to form your voice. Talk as you will talk to your friends, as you will talk to your colleagues. Just talk like that, on that pace. Do not rush, but do not be slow as well. Do not rush. Just talk on your own pace. How you talk normally. Can you tell me about yourself? My name is this. I graduated from this. Okay, I've done this, I've done that. I have skills in this. I've got qualities in this. I've grown this. I've engaged in this. Talk at your pace. There's no need in any way to talk too fast. Okay, so it's very important. You also need to see your interviewer as your friend. I will never tell you to see your interviewer as your nursing manager in Nigeria. Never. Because we have one thing, is that we are scared of our seniors. Is the truth. Even till today, if I see someone that is very, very elderly to me, I cannot even talk to them like how I would talk freely with my work colleagues that are even older than me, or like talk to our people that are senior in UK. Because the way we are trained back home is, your elders are here, you are here. So no matter how big you grow or how much money you have, your elders are here and you are here. So you cannot talk to, you'll be counting your words. But I don't mean you should be rude. You can talk to your colleagues in a respectful manner without being rude, but also without being scared. Okay? Have your interview like you are chatting. You are chatting away. You are just having a normal discussions. All right. So it's very, very important. So I hope I've been able to just talk about the preambles. I know in some of our previous interviews, we first did it at the first time, the second time, then we stopped talking about the preamble somehow. But it's very important, very, very important that we talk about all this preamble. Now, once you have sorted all those problems, all those many, many issues, the next thing you need to ensure is please know what you will be asked. Yes. And you know the beautiful thing about interview, if you have listened to my previous videos, I said interviews are expo. Do you hear me again? Interviews are expo. In fact, if you really prepare for your interview, you will even have an idea what will probably come out in your interview. Interviews are like expo. Now, I'll tell you why I say interviews are like expo. Number one reason I say interview like expo is because you already know that these people do not know you. And so they want to know you. So they'll probably ask you questions related to yourself and your experience. So at least you already have an idea of, okay, I know I want to come and sell myself. It's going to be like someone is telling me, I will give you $1 billion if you can only tell me you deserve that $1 billion. And that's what interview is all about. You're coming to sell yourself. Okay. Number two reason I say interview is like expo is because there are interviews online. Questions. You see so many questions online everywhere. YouTube, even on our group, we have a group, past question group. And if you are really someone that is diligent and you go through most different NHS questions, but you go through them, you will find out that some of these questions are similar. And even if they are not similar, they are related to some certain topics. Okay? Even if they are not the same word, verbatim, word for word, they are related to some certain topic. Okay? And because they are related to some certain topics, it makes it easy for you to probably know what you will be asked. They might probably ask you on pressure areas. It might not be a direct question, but they will. They might ask you on care. They might ask you on the qualities. They might ask you on the NHS value. They might ask you why you have interest in their hospital. They might ask you on about infection. They might ask you on prevention and controls. They might ask you on medication management in terms of emergency, conflict management. All these things are something they will ask you all about. And you have that idea that they will probably ask you. So if I were you, I would just tell myself, okay, I will have an example. If they ask me any question related to infection and control, and they probably tell me, because you also know that they might ask you to give scenario when you have demonstrated this. You see, if they ask me any question on infection and control, I'll probably give them this example. If they ask me a question on what are my strengths and weaknesses, I've already created one that I'm going to tell them at the back of my head. Okay. If they ask me a question on maybe tell me when I had an issue with a colleague and how it was resolved, I already have one at the back that I'm going to tell them. If they ask me, you enter a room, someone's on the floor, I already know the steps I'm going to use to give them that answer. If they ask me if you're in a community and you notice somebody blood sugar is this, somebody blood sugar is that, I already know. Mental health, they could ask me mental capacity. They could ask me safeguarding. They could ask me mental acts. They could ask me weight gain. They could ask me so many things. I already know at all. It will be related to these topics. So I already have an example of what I will give them if they ask me. And you can example for once, you can just twist it all around. We are all human beings. It's what I give you, you will take. The ability to be able to twist the answers and give it back to them is very, very important. Okay. Another reason why I said interviews are expo is because they have given you their job description and person specification. They told you this is the person we want. And the person we want, this is the essential criteria that the person must have. Okay? This is the essential criteria that the person must have. We have looked at the essential criteria. If you're looking at interview, they have essential criteria, they have desirable criteria. Okay? Desirable criteria is if you have it, that's good, that'll be very, very nice. You understand? But if you don't have it, it's still fine. But essential criteria that you must have it. Do you understand? So you look at them, you look at the criteria, and you think, I need to show them I have these things. So if they did not ask you the question directly, somehow, just chip it in. You understand? Just find a way to twist it and chip it in. Because you already understand the essential criteria of what they want. So they already tell you what they want. So if you have looked at anything about those essential criteria, it gives you a glimpse of what the questions will probably be like. Okay, they'll probably tell you to
Mrs.
tell them how you've
Adenike, can
demonstrated
you
some
mute
of
your
these
mic?
essential
Can you mute
criteria.
your mic? Because you are
Okay,
disturbing others from getting to hear what is
and they'll
going on.
probably
Miss
tell you
Adenike,
that you should check out, or they'll probably tell you that you should have a look. What's the name? They probably ask you questions on how you've demonstrated some of these essential criteria that they need. All right. And so if they tell you that to do such things like that, you already know what to present to them. Okay, you already know what to present to them. Then also, you look at the job description. The job description of somebody in a theater is different from the job description of somebody that is a mental health nurse. The job description of somebody that is into what's the name? That is into community health. It's different from someone that is a medical nurse. It's different from someone that is treating children emergency. They're totally different job description. So if you have read the job descriptions, you've understood the job description, you will know or expect questions that are related to it. And you will read in between the lines and target, you will see similar past questions. You will just target that, okay, so it might not be verbatim, but something related to this might be asked to me. Somebody in children emergency ward now should be expecting questions on safeguarding. You understand? So these are things that you should understand when you're preparing for interview. Knowing this makes you prepared for that interview. That you know, no matter how they twist it. Like, I don't even need to prepare for an interview. I'm not boasting, no, but I can go for an interview and smash it without preparing. Why? Because I've done so much that for any interview that you ask me, any topic, I have an example at the back of my head for it. You understand? So it's very important that you know all of that. Unless it's a entirely new questions that this question they ask me. But no matter what, it is something you have done before. So it's very, very important that we know that. Okay. I'm preparing for an interview. It's very, very important I mentioned this. Also, there are some things you need to understand when you're preparing for an interview. There are some theories you need to know. And the reason why you must know these theories is not because you are going to tell them word for word. Let me even say it this way again. There are some theories you need to know. There are some, what's the name? The trust values you need to know. I remember we had an interview the last time with somebody, and she said that she did not pass the interview because when she asked for a feedback, the interviewer told her that it was like she was just telling them back their trust values. Because she has gone and cram it. She just went to go and cram it. Quality care control. Anything she say, quality care control. Can we know now? That's the open expo. It does not mean that you will just say quality care control. Okay, you can talk about how you've gone extra mile, how you're always concerned about, do we feel you've been caring? Quality, how you ensure that what you do is up to date to ensure the best care is given. You don't need to say, you can use a synonym rather than saying, you can, even if you want to say quality, you can say, but don't make it too obvious, like quality care. No, I have to ensure that I always ensure I follow the policies. And I used to ensure that if I don't understand something, I need to ask. I have to ensure that the standard of care is not dampened in any way. I go back home to try and reflect or try to do a bit of training. I ask my senior ones to train me as well, because I'm all about giving quality. All my life has always been ensuring that things are maintained to that, because at that way the patient receives the best. In all I have said, I've only mentioned quality once. So it will not look as if I've said something verbatim to verbatim. I've just go and cram what they have said. I want to come and do la cram, la talk, la forget. No. In an interview, they have read your paperwork. They have read what you have submitted. They have used their what are they calling it? Their tech, what they used to handpick people. They've used it to handpick you because it's there. Now they want you to come and demonstrate to them. Okay, let me see how you have implemented what you have said in your experience. And so that's why it's important that, yes, you must know the trust values. You must know this thing, yes, very, very important. And you must know at least little thing about the trust you get. But it's not for you to just come and give it back to them verbatim. No. It's for you to use it to show how you have done it. And you must not talk too much example. You can just, it's better than saying quality, you can use best. You can use another synonym. Okay. Now, another thing you have to ensure is that you need to know what I was saying initially, theories, like your 6 C's of nursing, your 4 P's. Okay. Your why do I always forget this thing? Is it 7 pillars of something NHS that I always forget this all the time? That particular one, so you need to know it. Okay.
Clinical governance. Adenike, mute your mic.
It's very, very important that you know all of them. And the reason why I said you need to know them, your mental health capacity, your mental health acts, okay? What is safeguarding? You need to know them. The reason why I said you need to know all of this is not far from the fact that you can be able to use this as an example. If they ask me what's the role of a nurse now, or what do I think the role of a surgical nurse is, or what do I think the role, because that can be some question that they might ask you. What do I think the role of a mental health nurse is? What is the day-to-day activity of a mental health nurse? You understand? What do I think they do on a daily basis? They could ask you such questions. Okay? What you can simply do is to use all these theories that you know, use it to implement it in what you are saying. You understand? Talk about how the daily goal is to ensure that you're promoting the practice. You give example, but just someone integrate it. It makes you know what you want to say. It makes you like, okay, in the case you've lost points, you can just pick one of those things to implement it somehow and get a point. You can start by talking rubbish, and after 1 to 2 minutes, you say the correct thing. Okay, you can just start like that. Before you know it, if you hit the point, and once the point has clicked on your head, just start talking about it with your full energy. You understand? So it's very, very important that we understand all this, okay? Very, very important. There's a part I wanted to say which I skipped my head, but it's very, very important. Now, once we've known all of this, it's very important that we then understand that, yes, how do we then practice? It's one thing to talk. It's one thing to talk. It's another thing to then say, okay, let's practice, right? One question they always ask is, many trusts don't ask it anymore again anyway. They just go straight to, why do you want to work for us? Okay, but just in case some trusts want to go back to the status quo and they tell you, tell me about yourself. Can somebody tell me or tell me about yourself? I want to know how you guys will go about it. I'm waiting. And you all should listen because we also score the person so that we'll start from how, so we'll know where we'll correct if there's any mistake. If the person has done well, we'll commend the efforts. So somebody tell me about yourself. I'm waiting. You can unmute your mic and speak. Mute your mic and speak.
Hello, good
Let's
evening.
not take too long so that we can cover other things. Yes, I can hear you if you can speak. Go on.
Hello.
We can hear you. Who's speaking? Let me see. Yes.
Okay.
Miss G or Miss G. Go on.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you for the question. My name is Chinelo Grace, a mental health nurse. I have both diploma and degree in nursing. I got my diploma from School of Nursing Center and my degree from LAUTECH. Where I work currently, I work in the mental health department at United Healthcare. Me working there have made me to gain numerous experience, skills, and attributes. I'm skilled at conducting assessment, carrying out planning, implementation, and evaluating the care that has been given to ensure that there was a positive response from it. I'm also skilled at administration of medication, and while administering drugs, I consider the fixed rights of drugs. I also check for side effects of the drugs. I'm good at conducting therapy, which includes individual therapy, group therapy, and talking therapy. Recently, I gained experience in risk management and risk assessment, which has helped me in my department where I work in inpatient adult nursing. I'm skilled at providing compassionate care to individuals in need of mental health services. And while in providing this compassionate care, I ensure that I respect them and as well consider their dignity. Also, in rendering this,
Oh, your network. Oh, I was enjoying what you are
I'm
saying.
good at communication.
Go on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay. I've been numerous skills from working at my current place of work. Uh, gain communication skills. I can communicate with my patients, my fellow staff, and other team members. I can pass information to my patients. I communicate in a clear and simple manner, showing empathy and being non-judgmental. I've also gained interpersonal skills. I'm good at teamwork. Care is being rendered to my patients. I'm supportive and also I ensure that the environment in which our patients stay is free from harm. I also include my patients in the treatment plan. I allow them to participate so that they can contribute to the health to their health. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. So can somebody score her and tell me how she did? Any correction? Anything she could have done better? No one is speaking. People should talk. Oh, do you think she could have done better? If she did
Good,
well, you say yes. If she did not do well, you say no.
good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Okay. Though I'm still learning, but she did very well. I commend that because first of all, anxiety will not allow me to mention a lot. But she did well. She mentioned her skills and qualities, and also her responsibilities and roles as a mental health nurse. And also, she did. I'll score her like a 7/10 or 8/10. And
Yeah,
then
I'll
I'll
go on.
add her achievements as in during this maybe during this role as a nurse, mental health, what she has achieved or what she has contributed towards the mental health environment. I think so, something like that.
Okay. So that's fine. Thank you so much for that. So yes, she has actually done well, and I'm going to commend her on the things that she has done well. Number one is the fact that she talks with her own voice and did not form. Okay. And she was calm when speaking. That's a good point. Number two is the fact that she didn't have to go through like when someone is trying to like say I have communication skills, I have interpersonal skills, I have this one skills. No. The way she went, yes, she emphasized them, but she did not just talk as if she was reading. She like you could see that yes, she knows what she is saying. Do you understand? Which was good. And also, you could see that she talked about currently, I just completed this. So she has showed that she had continuous learning even after she had what? After she had graduated or after she had started work. She did not just stop do work and just continue working. She did not have any continuous learning. She did not develop herself. She did not get any certification. She did not go for any training, no CPD, no nothing. She said currently she just completed this. You understand? And that's good. She also talked about The fact that she has worked in this mental health has made her get so many skills, and her skills include assessment, group therapy, self-therapies, which was also good. Okay, but careful not to talk too long. But I like the fact that she didn't talk for too long, because she had talked for an extra 2 minutes, that would have been too long. Okay, so when we are doing all that, we need to be careful. Not so I used to tell people that have like 3 to 4 or 5 qualities that you want to emphasize on, and then that's it. You don't need to emphasize on everything. Another thing that she could have done is she could have talked about how if she had achieved anything, she could have chipped it in at the end, not talk for too long, but she can chip it at the end. And if, like I said, there's one part I want to get, because at the end, many people will be like, I would like to work for your choice because your value entices my value. You don't need to go like that. There are other ways of saying that. So you can end it like, if given an opportunity to work with us, I'll try to ensure that I achieve the sole purpose of this organization, which I believe is to go further to. You can, instead of to say values, you can just use another English to change it. You understand? So just have a closing sentence. Okay, a closing sentence is very important, so you should leave the sentence open, because somehow you left your words open. You didn't have a closing sentence. Your closing sentence must not be, if given this opportunity. Your closing sentence can be something else, you get, but always good to have a closing sentence. Okay, so thank you so much for that. You've done very well. Can we have another person who want to try? The only beautiful thing about talking, as you can see, I analyze what she has done. Another person analyze what she has done. If she goes for the interview tomorrow, do you think she will be scared? No. Why? Because she remember that we said she has done well, and this is the place she can correct 1 or 2 things, and she will just go like that. Okay, so now I'm asking again, do we have another person that wants to teach us? We want to hear from you, please.
Hello. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Go on.
Okay. Thank you for the question. My name is Ika Success Itolua. I graduated with a diploma in registered nursing from the School of Epa College of Nursing, Egbe, Kogi State in Nigeria. I graduated 2022, and I moved on to work in the same hospital as a nurse, where I focus mainly on emergency nursing. Sorry, I'm panting. I just went the stairs to talk. Okay, so I focus more on emergency nursing because it has always been something I've been interested in. It's a way where I'm able to give first-hand care, where it puts me on my feet, makes me able to think and act fast to taking care of my patients. And moving from there, I went on to Lagos State in Nigeria also, where I worked in the Welfare Rehabilitation Center. So yeah, I was able to give care to patients who had stroke, who had hypertension, dementia, hip and knee replacements, and it also exposed me to different areas of care, different from the ones in the usual hospital settings, because this one was focused more on rehabilitating these people back into their community. I recently started my BMSc in nursing, and I am currently even writing my first semester exam. So I am definitely improving. I have a degree in basic life support from the American Association, and also from the European Association also. I have various degrees from the Florence Academy. I was trained in tracheostomy care. I improved in that because it was very essential for some of my patients that was taken care of in the rehabilitation center. So I focused on the tracheostomy care. I did more on stroke basic nurses, following the Angels Initiative, also an online course. And I am also very particular about improving. I like research because I want to improve. I want to give first and new evidence-based care to my patients. So I am involved in the Institute of Nursing Research in Nigeria, where we research on new cases, new ways of managing patients. And that's what I can say about myself right now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Can we have someone score her, please? Can we have someone score her, please? She's waiting for her score. Add, subtract, minus, congratulate, commend, say, boost her morale, say something. Please, we are up to more than 20 on this group, so one person must say something before we can proceed. So can we have somebody say something, please? Thank you. Nobody wants to take the bull by the horn. Why are we shy? Okay, let me start calling him since you don't want to talk. Mr. Ahmed, please, can you say something?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Ahmed. Yes, I wasn't able to hear her very well, but from what I heard, during her talk, I'll give her 7/10, because she starts by introducing herself, what she has achieved. But my only fault with that is that she didn't give a very good closing remark, like you just said earlier before. So that's what I can say about her introduction.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed, for that. Thank you very much for that. Can we have another person? I have somebody called Good Luck Regis. Can you unmute your mic and speak, please?
Yeah. Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Oh boy. Actually, I've not really prepared my talk about telling you about yourself. I was actually doing some other part, but I can just try with the little knowledge I have.
Okay, so what you do for me now, I want you
Okay,
to
ma.
correct this lady. Once you don't correct her, you tell me about yourself. Okay?
We hear her because she was fine. But if I may score her, I would say 6.
Okay,
But
why did you give her 6? I can't hear you very well.
she was too lengthy and all that, like you said, 2 minutes and that, and the way she finished her talk. So,
Okay, so you tell
like,
me about yourself then.
oh boy. Okay, my name is Good Luck Regis. um, I'm mental health nurse. I graduated from university. Uh, so uh, our school days, we were being taught, lectured on courses on mental health, and we are being posted to different wards for our experience. That's where I developed my interest to become a mental health nurse. Because where you were posted in the mental health settings, I was able to care for some patients who were mentally disordered, and I developed that passion for it. So my passion for it grew. So after my graduation, did a compulsory 1 year internship where I was stationed permanently in a mental health ward. So during those period, I gained a lot of experience and skills. I had experience in communication. I was able to communicate clearly and clearly to my patient, and also pay active attention to their concerns and validating them. Also communicate with my colleagues in a very clear and conscious way manner. I was also had experience in administering medications, especially intramuscular injections. I I developed a lot of experience in doing the procedure. So after my internship, I got an offer to work in a neuropsychiatric hospital where I currently work now, where I'm able to witness a lot of cases such as depression, substance abuse, and I had this. I've been able to develop skills in in de-escalation and de-escalation and advocating for the patient's rights. So during my work in the hospital, we were given an opportunity to develop our profession, where I was able to um, go for basic life support, where I was given a certification and also at cardiac life support too. So doing that, I was able to also do a course on online course on soft skills, which has been which has helped me in a very big way in my work, and and then I've played a big role in part in my place of work due to my respect and compassion I have in the job. So I've been really awarded as one of the most caring nurse in the hospital. That's it.
All right, thank you very much. At least what first thing is you made an attempt. Okay. And that's good. Because when you start something, it makes you know that okay, so this is how it sounds, this is how my voice sounds. I can do better though. But yeah, at least I've given it my first try. And that's good. So you've done well. You tried, I could see you trying to put two and two together. So you try to put two and two together so that you can say something, which is good. Yes, success. I'm going to comment on what you have done as well. So I want to ask you a question, success. What is the job you are applying for? What particular job are you applying for? Is it mental nursing? Is it adult nursing? Is there a specific word? What's the word about? Okay, so did they specify any certain specialty? Or they just said registered adult nurse? Okay, so that's good. Now, the reason I asked that question was I listened to you and I listened to our other able guys speak too. And I want to pick one or two things to tell you guys. When you are telling, I just remember that I forgot to mention this. When you are answering the question, tell me about yourself. It's just like you go to the market, okay? And somebody wants to buy tomatoes, right? The person wants to buy tomatoes. If the person see onions, the person will not buy onions. The person will buy tomatoes because that's what the person wants to go and buy. You are going to the market. You want to buy toothpick, okay? If you see shaving stick, you will not buy shaving stick. It's toothpick you want to go and buy because that's what you want. It's the same thing for interviews. You are coming for an interview. The interviewer wants a certain type of person. So even if you have all the experience in the world, if your experience does not carry what the they are looking for, then it means that they might probably not take you, no matter even now you have all the experience in the world. So you must somehow relate your experience to the certain job role you are applying for, even if you do not have experience in that field. For someone that is going to apply for a healthcare assistant job, for example, and the person has only worked as a customer care all their life, and the person has done courses and they want to transit into that particular department. When you are going for an interview and you are talking about your skills, you should be talking about how you've cared for your customers. You should be talking about how you've had good communication skills and how you can transfer the skills as a healthcare person. She'll be talking about how you advocate for your customers. She'll talk about how you go on and beyond for the customers. Why? Because these are transferable skills that are needed in the job you are applying for. So the same thing when you are going for a job interview and they say, tell me about yourself. When you are thinking about qualities, make sure that the qualities you are selecting to highlight that you have during your interview are qualities that are part of their essential criteria that they say that they want. That brings us back to your person specification. Okay? It's very, very important. So, success that you talked about, you having experience taking care of stroke, taking care of dementia, taking care of the elderly, that was a good one. You did well. That was why I asked you that question. What was the job role? And you talked about adults. And adults, we have people with those situations that they have similar situation. Okay. You also talked about the fact that you've gone far and beyond. Like you demonstrated how you've gotten so many degrees and so many certificates. But like I said, remember not to talk too lengthy. And you were right, you were almost going too lengthy. You and the last person that spoke. Okay. But there are ways you can go about this. Okay. And one thing I like about almost everybody that spoke today, and I will need to commend you as compared to some other interviews we've had, is that you guys do not talk like you have crammed, which was so good, right? You do not talk like you have crammed. You talk like you have come to talk about yourself because this is who you are. But there are still ways when you are going about this. You can have like, okay, you can have paragraphs on what you will certain talk about. So you can have your paragraph A, how you introduce yourself. Okay, please don't copy my method. I'm going to beg you. You can use yours. I remember when I had interview with someone, and when I gave my method, I told her to give hers, and hers was so beautiful. And for me myself, I wanted to go and learn her method because it was so nice. Okay, because the way she just everything just enter, and she got the job the next day, and I was not surprised because I was touched with the way she went about it. She had done her due diligence. Okay. So if you are looking for the particular person, maybe to be our second interview section or third interview, you can go and watch the videos on YouTube. It's there. Okay. So as I was saying before I deviated into that, it's very, very important that you have maybe a strategy. You can start by, okay, I'll introduce myself. I talk about probably where I've studied. And remember, if you have 2 years experience, there's no need of saying, I have 2 years experience. Why? Because there might be people that have 10 years experience, okay? And it might be a disadvantage to you as an individual. So it's best for you to just say, I've had experience in these certain fields. You can talk about, yes, the person that talked about your internship, that's fine. It doesn't mean you'll not get a job. I got 4 job offer when I was coming to the UK then. And I always tell them, oh, I did my internship. I graduated, and from there I started an internship under the mentorship of this. After the internship, I waited for that to start working in this place. I worked in this unit, surgical, medical, A&E. And finally, I stayed in surgical for quite a while. I developed the skills, blah, 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 and also whatever. Okay, so if you want to talk about the fact that where you graduated from, talk about the places you have worked. Remember, don't make sure it's not too lengthy, but it's always important that you talk about places you've worked, especially if it's related. Let's say they need a surgical department, right? And you've worked in surgical units, or you've worked in ICU, or you've worked in theaters. It's always important that you mention that, okay? Then if you are skilled, maybe you've taken care of level 2 patients, level 1 patients, intubated patients. It's not everything you say. You can just pick three core important things they put in the job description that they want to see, or probably they say they do. Maybe for surgical nurse, you have a rough idea of what they do. You understand? So you can just chip. I've got good skills in assessments. I've got good skills in I've done like those that say they have administration of medication. Administration of medication is enough. You don't need to start talking about many things. They've heard that. Okay. You've got skills in venipuncture, tracheostomy management. That's fine. Maybe you pick 3 or 4. After that, you can go further towards talking about the units you've worked in. Okay. Talk about the units you've worked in. After that, you can go further to talk about how you have gained further professional development. Maybe you've had other, maybe continuous learning, how you have huge taste for knowledge, how you love continuous learning, how you love research, and how you've done this, how you've done that, how you've gotten some certification and all that. That should not take more than 30 seconds. Okay? But it's not, when I say don't talk too much, does not mean you should just say a full stop. No. At least make sure the important points are being said. Okay. You can just time yourself. Tell me about yourself might be for like 3 minutes. So you practice on your own. You say, my time starts now. You carry your video. Tell me about yourself. My name is, and remember, don't rush. That's one beautiful thing I want to tell everybody here. Congratulations. None of you rushed. And that is very beautiful. Do not rush. Okay. So now you've carried yourself, you've told me about yourself and all that, okay? Now you've talked about your professional development, probably what you've learned, what you've gone for, that your certification. It's not you must not list all your certification in the world. Just say the important relevant ones, okay? And then your qualities, okay? You want to talk about your qualities. Maybe you want to talk about maybe you've looked at their essential qualities, the person specification. You've seen they say they need someone that is a team player, someone that has good communication skills, someone that is flexible, someone that is punctual, someone that knows how to like work with teams, someone that knows how to educate students, someone that knows how to relate. It does not mean you should go and say it verbatim, no. I'm telling you again. But one thing I like about what you guys do is today is that you do not say those words verbatim. I could hear when someone say, I always work, I have a good cordial relationship with my colleagues. I try to ensure that we work together to ensure that things are being done correctly. I'm someone that loves teamwork. You must not always say, I've forgotten the word. They always use the word team player. You must not use the word team player. Okay, so even communication, rather than using the word communication, say I relate well. Okay, I speak calmly. Okay, I listen attentively. Those are communication skills. I'm there for my patients. I give a listening ears to their needs. That's caring. You understand? So these are very, very important. And lastly, you can add the fact that you can just chip in how you would love to work for the organization. You can put in your why you would like to, why you actually applied for them, why you feel like how you can just, I don't want to use the word because it's very common how their goal needs to go. I don't want to use that because it's too common. It's, let's say everybody's using that one now. But you can just put how you would love to work for a big organization like NHS who are concerned about patient care. And just give a closing remark. All right. So it's good to always have a closing remark so that they can feel you. It's just like you've carried them to the mountain and you'll be like, they'll be like, oh my God, this person is good. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for what you've done today. Thank you. And Mr. Ehiz, I don't know if you want to take over the next session, because the next session is all about asking you other questions, scenario-based questions, okay? Please, I want everybody to be bubbling. This is ready. This is just getting hotter. This is where they start asking the main deal. Tell me when you do this. Demonstrate when you do that. So, so is Mr. Ehiz here, please?
Yeah, I'm actually here. Thank you so much for this session so far. I really appreciate your effort and contribution. I'm just trying to lower the noise on the background. Okay, all right. Thank you, everybody. Can you see my face? I'm happy that we've been having a wonderful session so far, but the challenge I'm having now is we have to be the one pushing you before you eventually have to speak, which is not actually fair on you because you are the one meant to have this interview. I'm not going to write any interview. So it's your interview. So you have to take the bull by the horn. The essence why we do the reason for doing all this is actually to ensure that you come here, make all the mistake that you can make. So that by the time you are going for your interview session or your May session for your interview, you will be rest assured that you are going to do well or smash it as the case may be. So we'll try and go a little bit more practical now. What she was doing before was more like the periphery, more like the introduction to the main interview session. So I will be asking us questions based on what previous candidate has sent before on the group. Now, because this is live stream, there are some persons that may eventually get to see this video. If you can, we'll try and drop the link to the Telegram group on the comment section. Hopefully, it should be able to guide and direct you appropriately relating to various NHS questions that will help your journey. On the group, it's not just NHS questions that are there. There are some relating to Canada, US, and what have you. So it all depends on what is going to help your journey. So that's basically it on that. Who is ready to go first? And just to quickly say, for everybody that is here, should we have a little bit of an idea? Are everybody mental health, midwifery, or adult nursing? If you know you got adult nursing, you can just say I did.
I did, sir. Adult nursing.
Thank you. Is it only one person?
I did, sir.
Adult
nursing.
adult
Okay.
nursing.
Mental
Okay.
health.
Okay. That's one mental health. I don't know.
Adult nursing.
Mental health as well.
Okay, two mental health. I hope people are seeing it now.
Mental health.
That's three
Mental
mental
health.
health, four mental health,
Mental health.
five mental health,
Mental health.
six mental health. Okay. So roughly like out of 20 persons that are here now, we have six mental health. The rest are adult nursing. So there's something I always say, see all these mental health nurses, they are too vocal. So everybody now will swap to mental health because they have heard your voice that mental health. So everybody will think mental health are the only one getting jobs. So you've heard now that adult nurses still get jobs. Actually, adult nurses still get jobs. So the reason why it seems as if adult nursing don't get job as often as it used to is because of the competition. So the competition is quite huge at the moment. Everybody is after adult nursing. So in this place, we are going to work together to achieve a centralized focus or a centralized goal. So I'm not going to be doing most of the talking. Everybody is going to work together to achieve an aim. And just for me to quickly chip in, for those of you that were telling us about yourself, we always have a policy that when you are dealing with telling me about yourself, we know that there's no one single policy that works, but it works currently as it's been with people that have done interview with our sessions. So we usually recommend that you start by talking about yourself, like your identity. Don't mention your country. I know some persons are quite quick about that. Because you are dark does not make you a Ghanaian. Because you are dark does not make you a Nigerian. Kenyans are dark, so also with other African countries. And the reason why we say don't mention your country is to rule out any unnecessary stereotypes. Because some persons, they have some stereotypes against a particular ethnicity. So because of previous dealing or what they've heard before, by the time you mention your identity, they begin to have a negative connotation about you, which is not necessarily good. So instead of you saying, my name is Otaigbe, he is a registered nurse from Nigeria, you should rather say, I'm Otaigbe, he is of Vincent Kevin, Jeremiah, Victor, an internationally trained registered nurse who graduated from so and so university. But by the time you go from that angle, you may think now that by the time you mention your university, it will also be an indication that you are mentioned where you are from. Actually, most of your interviewer, they are going to be people from different ethnic background. So they don't really know your university. The only thing that strike a balance to them is that you are a graduate of a particular university. And then when you move your way down, you should be able to reference a bit of your qualities in the sense of what are your skills, what are your quality, and your quality should always be a reference of your what? The job description and the personal specification of the job role. You shouldn't be too direct about it, but you should summarize in such a way that it still explains that quality as it relates to the job description. So that's basically it on that. So I'm actually on our group now because that's where I'm going to be asking most of the questions. We want to ask questions based on those who have had it before. Basically, NHS remains the same in their pattern, but every trust have their different ways of asking their own question. And please, if you haven't, I will really appeal to you, go to the Telegram group and take your time to go through what others have done before, especially if they have posted your own question. Trust me, even if your trust are witches are wizards, when they are asking their question, it's going to follow a similar pattern to what is already available. Reasoning what is on the group does not stop you from practicing elsewhere, but eventually, if you have that knowledge, it will give you a sort of a solid foundation to approach a tougher question going forward. So I'm okay. All right, I'm on the group now. And I'm going to. I don't know. Should I start mentioning name now? Yeah, I think this face just struck me, and I feel I love the way the picture is looking. So he's going to take the first. Is it bullet now? So, Mr. Aya Ndochi, please, you are the one that will answer this question. I don't know if you are ready for us. Are you ready for us, Mr. Aya? Remember, we came here because we wanted to make all the mistake. So I don't see there's any reason to be shy at this point. Okay, can we go with good luck, Regis? Good luck, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
Okay, correct. Thank you so much. So you're going to answer this question. So why do you apply for the role that you just applied for?
Okay, I haven't done my diligent research about the choice. I I found out the trust value aligns with mine, and seeing feedbacks on the internet, how good the trust are, how they provide or deliver high standard quality service to their service users. So I was I was amazed to see that this is the kind of thing I actually want to do. So I really want that's why I really want to join the church, and also seeing how they treat their service users, being compassionate and respecting their race and culture without no differences. Also also the reason why, and also and them being the most recognized trust in the whole of England is also one of the reasons. I think this is the reason I want to join the trust. And also the fact that they foster continual development and professional development. And me as myself, I'm kind of person that also wants to develop this, like in my profession and to get to the height of. So seeing the trust offer all this opportunity makes me want to join them. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Now let me ask a follow-up question. Can you tell me a situation where you handled before, a difficult situation you handled before, and how you were able to approach it?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. I don't know if I can use a scenario to give you the question.
Yes, of course.
Okay, sir. Um, I remember once during my line of practice, I was on duty. So there was this a lady who has been on admission, diagnosed with severe anxiety and panic attack. So she started getting this crisis, and she started being so violent, and people were scared to attend to her because of she was becoming so violent at that time. So nobody wants to go close to her. So I have to go, whereby I try to make sure the environment is safe for me to attend. After doing my whole risk assessment, assessing her, and I have to approach her calmly, and also giving a good distance, a very measurable distance between me and her. I was able to listen to her. I pay very close attention to what she has to say, to her concern, without being judgmental. So she was able to relate to me her feelings, her concern, and the reason why she has been. I found out that she was being aggressive because she found out her boyfriend was getting married to someone else. So that's the reason why she was becoming so. I was able to calm her down, and I tried to reassure her. So I also involved other healthcare team so that we can develop a care plan that is being tailored to her needs. And eventually, the outcome was a very positive one. She was able to to regain herself, and she was felt more comfortable. And that's fine.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that. I think that was an example from the blues.
Actually, I did not experience all these. I just said it from my head right now.
Yeah, I know. That was an example for the blues. It's not bad actually. So you basically done well with that. So let's hear from the rest of the people. What do you guys think of Good Luck performance? What do you think he could have done better? What do you think he should have actually add to a challenging situation that he has handled? Because these are common questions, just trying to test your ability. And then before I get your more of your opinion, let me quickly say this. I know some of you this question also revolves around when you have made a mistake. Say, give us a situation where you think you have made a mistake previously and how you were able to overcome it. And many of you will go and be giving some mistake that seems to be quite deadly, kind of. So please be very, very careful. Any question that anybody is asking you, first and foremost, analyze why is this person asking you this question. So the people knows that some mistake are bound to repeat. So because of that, they are asking you to know if you have the potential of making such a mistake again. So you want to be careful to ensure that the mistake you are going to be pointing to is not a mistake that is kind of grievous. You don't want to go and be analyzing how you make a medication error or how you gave the wrong injection to the wrong patient. So those are not good mistakes to make as a professional. We know that many people make all these mistakes, but that shouldn't be your case study. But rather, look for minor mistakes that you should hold on to. Now, that being said, let's evaluate what Mr. Goodlaw just did. And I just need one or two comments, then we can move to the next person with another question. Okay, I will start calling names now so that we can make this session as quick as we can make it to. So, Mr. Kazim, what do you have to say to what Mr. Goodlaw just did? Hello, Mr. Kanzim. Mr. Success, what do you have to say? You people are not giving me the right vibes. So.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hello. Good evening. Go ahead.
My name is Victor. I listened to what Goodluck said, and from his scenario, he gave a wonderful scenario of what happened. What I feel he would have done better, I believe he would have placed his his words maybe in a simpler form by telling us that he did this and that. For instance, he told us that when he approached a patient that was being and having anxiety, he he checked for the environment safety. If I was to be in that case, I would say before I approach the patient, I ensure that the environment is safe to approach and the patient is not with any object to harm herself or any other person around. So that's the only few mistakes I know he made during his scenario.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much. I think
Sorry,
the approach is quite
I
similar
actually said it.
because yeah, that's what I was about to say. He actually mentioned those. The approach is quite similar because he said he was going to be ensure that the patient doesn't have anything that can cause harm to him, and then he will maintain some reasonable amount of distance then before he started providing the necessary reassurance. Now, there's another question now I want to ask. The question is, how do you know you have delivered quality care to a patient? How do you know you deliver quality care to a patient? So let's bring this one to Adeola. Adeola, how will you know that you deliver quality care to a patient?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the question. First of all, before um, before I start with my with my ways of approach, or before I whether I care for any patient, I'll first of all set a goal for myself and how to work with that goal. So definitely, I won't be the only one to render this goal because there will be other team members that will be required. So in my line of presentation, I will try as much as possible to relate freely with other team members and carry them along, seek their opinion. Then as time goes on, I will set a time frame for the goal that I established. If it's going to be within a week or depending on the condition of the patient. Thereafter, over time, I will check if my goal aligns with if the improvement of the patient is aligned with the goal I set for myself. If it happens that the patient gets better over time, then I realize the goal I set is achievable and I'm working in line with it. But if otherwise, if I'm not able to see any positive impact, then that means I'm not able to achieve the set goals. That's what I think.
All right, thank you so much. Did anyone listen to Adeola? Did anyone listen to Adeola? Okay. All right. Thank you so much for this session. I believe you guys have done very well. I've been holding interview session before. We try our best to carry everybody along. I basically have to sacrifice to make this session possible. But it seems we are not ready for this session. So we are going to be ending it now. Thank you so much for your time.
No, sorry, sir.
Have a wonderful time, and I
Please,
wish
sir,
you all
please,
very
sir,
well
we'll try
ahead of
more.
No, it's not like that.
No, I
No.
apologize, sir.
It's not
Please.
about this. It's a live session. For me to do this on a live session, I know what I'm
No,
talking.
I
So,
promise I'm
This
not doing it
we've been
now.
hello,
holding
sir.
sessions before. We've been holding sessions, and it's
Hello,
been
sir.
helping people. It's your vibe that would help me to help you. It's not a
We
paid
Oh,
session.
apologize.
You cannot sacrifice your data and come on this session, and then we ask each other questions, and nothing is going to. No, you think about it now. Everybody is
oh,
keeping muted. Eh?
please,
Please,
sir.
sir,
Sorry,
I think
from my
let me do it, sir. Please, don't be angry.
please, sir.
Please,
We
I'm
apologize.
begging us. See, I'm begging us. Let's make it work for each other. Me, I'm in the UK. I'm already to a reasonable extent. I'm comfortable. It's just to make things okay for each other. You understand? So that it's interviews. It may seem you've gotten this one doesn't mean you always keep coming. Who have been on the queue since applying. They are not even getting it. You've gotten your own now. Go make the mistake here. What are you concerned about? If you are concerned about we are live, you want us to delete it, we can delete it. The reason why we go live is because most times people that didn't miss this session now, there are some persons, you go to the group and check. Some persons are already saying, I'm unable to join the chat. This one is happening, this one is happening. If you don't record the session, that's it. They missed it. Even you yourself, you may follow this session and you think you have gotten everything. By the time you play it back, you will not hear what this other person was, the approach he took. You will not get on that understanding. So, okay, so this was what this guy was saying. Then you can use it as a basis to practice more. That's if it's recorded. If it's not recorded, that's all. It's gone. So it's not as if recording it is making any difference. Are you not seeing my face now? I mean, you people are not
Yes,
even showing your face. So what's not the thing we are scared about? Eh? So please,
yes,
let's
sir.
work together and make it work.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So, can we quickly evaluate how she presented her answer relating to uh how she measures her yardstick for rendering quality care?
Okay, sir. I didn't hear the complete explanation, but I got to understand that she talked about organization and then time management skills. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So she time management, how she will manage her time to attend to patient and provide a holistic care, and also how to organize her work. So I'll commend that she tried then I will try to add maybe communication skills and getting a feedback from patients, both patients and families and colleagues and seniors, and also supervision, trying to by an advanced senior colleague who is more experienced, and then also as reassessment and evaluation, and also quality improvement strategies so as to assess her work. Finally, also continuous learning as to the updated trend to administer quality care, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. You see, now those things you stated, now if she add it to what she already has, there is going to be improvement. And you yourself that also stated all these things, you may also notice that in the course of you conversing, certain things just come outrightly. So it can also help you going forward. Beside the fact that you are just having this, we are just having this session. Anyway, thank you so very much for that. There's another question that I want to ask another person. So it has to do with mistreatment of or maltreatment of staff or mistreatment of a patient. So if you meet a colleague of yours who is currently maltreating a staff, what would be your approach to handling such a situation? Who will I ask this question now? Joyce, can you answer this?
Hello, good evening. Let me give it a try.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. if I'm to be in such scenario of a staff maltreating anybody, the first thing I will do is that I will talk to the staff that what he or she is doing is not right. And also, I will take the patient or the person away from the other person that is being maltreating the person to a safer environment. Then I will check the patient's vital signs to ensure that this patient is not having any complication or critical situation from the maltreatment. Then after that, I will now have to report such person to a higher authority. Let's say, for instance, the ward manager or the NMC themselves, so that this person will not do similar um, act to somebody else in the nearest future. And also, before I will report the person to the manager, I will have a words one on one with them to ensure that for them to know that they've done wrong. For me, that's what I would do.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Does anyone has anything to add to what he just said?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma.
I'm on the road the other time when you call me, so I can't respond because the place is noisy. So I just
Oh,
get back from work now. I'm so
no
sorry.
problem. No problem at all. Very sorry about that. I'm not. It's not as if I'm angry. I'm just saying that it seems as if we are just quiet. It's not just you. It
No,
seems as if the
okay.
atmosphere is not conducive for interview. That's why I just say, okay, let's just end the session.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, sir. We make
Thank
it
you.
interactive now.
Thank you, ma.
He really tried. I just want to add few things to what he said. If I see a colleague of mine maltreating a patient, I will try as much as possible to address the issue immediately by calling the attention of my colleagues and tell him or her that what she is doing is very wrong. Then I will try to tell him the code of conduct of the nursing that he needs to ensure the patient's safety. Then I will enlighten him more. After then, I'm going to report to my line manager because he needs to know more about nursing practice and how to handle patients. Another thing is I'm going to support this my patient to a safe place. I will make this patient comfortable in case if the patient is injured or is not comfortable. I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to know what needs to do by caring for my patient. After which I'm going to document appropriately the incidents when it happens, how it happens, and the intervention that I did and what I do on that. Then I will try as much as possible to investigate what transpires between both of them. After which I have told my line manager, I could also suggest some trainings to my line manager in which if probably they can engage these my colleagues of mine so that once he once he partake in this training, he'll be able to know more about handling of patients and ensuring patient safety at all time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You've done so well. You've actually given a very good answer. Both of you, you've done so well. So thank you so much. All right. So I'll ask the next question now. So can you tell me, those that are mental health nurses, can you tell me what is the role of a mental health nurse?
Hello, I don't. Can I try?
Yes, go on.
Okay. Uh. Sorry. Okay. The role of a mental health nurse is I think is one, you have to assess your assessment. You have to assess patients for assess their mental status. You also assess their physical and emotional well-being too. Then also um sorry. They are also involved. The role of a mental health nurse is also to carry out a care plan. They try to tailor a comprehensive care plan, which is tailored towards the patient's need. And another role of a mental health nurse is administration of medication. They administer medication to patients, also noting the adverse effect and following the six rights in medication. They also involve themselves in group therapy, in, in therapy such as CBT, the cognitive behavioral therapy, and dialectical behavioral therapy, and also in education. They educate patients, also trying to raise awareness, uh, promoting the awareness of mental health illness in the community. And they also advocate for patient rights. They also advocate for patient rights, and also they also kind of a safeguarding, whereby when patient rights are being neglected, and they will advocate for them. I think this is all I can remember for now.
All right, thank you so much. Do anyone have any other thing they want to add, subtract, retract? Is there anyone that wants to add any other thing that we'll probably learn from?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Hadiola. I would like to add one or two things to it.
Okay.
Mental health issues are major issues that affect the quality of life of people. So, as a mental health nurse, it's essential that we support people with mental health issues so that this doesn't affect the quality of life they have. And in addition, we also support the carers because we discovered over time, I discovered that this affects the people that care for them, their family members. So as a mental health nurse, I try as much as possible to support my patients, to support them so that the impact will be minimized in the quality of their life. Also, I advocate in the community. A lot of people have misconception about mental health issues. So I try to reorientate people about their belief about mental health challenges. In addition, I also collaborate with people, with stakeholders in the community, so as to help to support the people with mental health challenges.
Okay.
That's
All right.
what I
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, both of you have done well. I just want to comment on one thing from the previous person that spoke. Did you notice something? Now, there's something I noticed, right? When you started, you were like, am I sure I'm going to get it? Oh, where is it again? What is it again? Am I sure I'm going to get it? And slowly, you just started kicking in. You just say, okay, they do this, they do this, they do this, and that's just how it is in interview. At times, you might be asked a question that show you off balance. Don't just like do like this, get days like you don't know what you want to say. Talk the rubbish the first rubbish that enter your head, just say it. Before you know it, it will start organizing itself. Before you know it, you will not know when you'll be giving content. Okay, so yes, you might have started in a way that was shaking, but over time you started giving, like say giving what I wanted to hear. Okay, and the second person, you also did very well. Thank you for including all of that. So I believe that answers the question. Okay, and that's another reason why I told you guys, if you know all these 4 P's of nursing, 4 C's of nursing, you just need to introduce it into, and all these basic theories and all that. You just need to introduce it into your answers, and it makes it easy for you. Now, what is the day-to-day activity of a mental health nurse? That's my next question. What is the day-to-day activity of a mental health nurse? Or what is your own day-to-day activity as a mental health nurse?
Hello, let me understand the
Good. Yeah, go on.
the day-to-day activities. First, we assess, they plan, they implement, and evaluate care that is being given to a patient. Then, secondly, they administer medication while taking note of the side effects. They also support patients to do some day-to-day activities. Then, they also conduct therapy because they deal with patients that is having mental issues. They go ahead with therapies like talking therapies or therapy. They also lead the team and then they supervise the senior ones and then the care assistants in performing the activity. They also allocate duties to competent individuals. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Does anyone want to add or subtract, retract, or are we all happy with that? Okay, since you're all
Yeah,
happy with that. Okay, go on. Try if you want to.
no, Aisha, what she said is fine. It's right.
Yeah, don't also forget that they collaborate with other team members, other healthcare professionals to create a plan for the patient and work with it. None of you have mentioned collaboration. It's very, very important. They try to also update or communicate with the patient family if permitted, you understand, so that they carry along the patient's family and also the patient in the care of the patients. Okay. So a patient, let's leave that one. I'll come back to it. Let me go to another question. And this is 6th of April. Okay. How do you show give me a scenario, okay? How you have shown compassion to a patient and how the patient felt after you have shown compassion. Give
Can I
me a
try now?
yes, go on. Shoot the gun.
Okay. In my previous role as an elderly care nurse, I had a situation where an 85 years old patient she was diagnosed of mild dementia, and also she was having a mild depression due to loss of function and also feeling of neglect. So when first of all, I assessed the situation, trying to make a holistic assessment of her physical and psychological needs. During this assessment, I found out that she was feeling alone and maybe alone and neglected. So feeling of abandonment. So I tried to create an environment of trust and compassion here by greeting her and trying to know her day. And then I initiated an effective communication by trying to give her an attentive ear, trying to know what to do. So I included my active listening skills. Yeah, she verbalized that she was felt alone, that the family has left her and all this. So I reassured her I reassured her and I encouraged her that I also left space for her to continue verbalization by giving her close open-ended questions. With that, I included it in my care plan. So I initiated a family meeting with family members, educating them on the patient's condition and trying to include their participation in care. I also gave an emotional support, trying to include the trying to be culturally sensitive of their preferences and values. So at the end, I understood that she was a kind of spiritual person. So I included the quality of let me be able to the participation of a spirit chaplain who helped to promote to satisfy her spiritual need. And also I continued monitoring and assessing her also. I followed her. And I also gave them opportunities of support groups who can support them during this their challenging time of managing an elderly person. And their challenges that come with elderly care. We had effective communication skills and then trying to give her attentive and including her family in her care. I was able to show compassion to my patient. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was a good one. Well done. So whenever you ask these questions, right, you can go using the start technique, the situation, and what happened, the task, what was the task you were supposed to achieve? Like you observed this and so you wanted to do this. So what did you do? Okay. And then the recommendation and the results, what happened at the end. So that's a good way of going about it, which you did anyway. And it really, really helps. Okay. And whenever they ask you all these questions, at times you don't need to crack your head. You can just remember things that happen on an everyday in the world, okay, on an everyday in the world. How maybe a patient maybe did not understand something and was not agreeing with a care, and how you went further to explain so that he understood. That was showing compassion, okay? You can go further to explain how maybe a patient was crying and how you were there, how you listened, or maybe a patient was being difficult. Just anything, it could be anything. You can relate it to compassion. Okay, so you've done very, very well. All right, so well done for that. Okay, so my next question is, what will you do when you encounter a difficult patient? How will you handle them? A patient that say no to everything, do this, no, do this, no, just difficult. Well, how will you handle such patients?
Nobody's saying, hey, let me try now. This like I've been talking too much here.
No, see, let me tell you, you're not talking too much. It's best you talk the talk. You understand? Talk it, keep talking. So go ahead.
Okay. I will approach the patient in a calmly manner. I'll try to establish a communication with the patient, whereby I use an open-ended questions. Then I pay more attention to what the person's concern, without being judgmental and validating their feelings. Try to know the reason why he or she is refusing treatment or procedure anymore. So I will also try to educate the person on the need for the person to do this or accept this. Whereby, for instance, if the person is refusing medication, I'll tell the person the importance of the medication, the reason why the person needs it. I will also have to involve any of the family members to help in the discussion. Maybe you help talk to the person about it. Then I'll also make sure the person feelings or concern is being attended to. I'll provide the necessary support the person needs, and also create a rapport, build a relationship with this person that will make this person trust me, and speak to the person in a very low tone, in a calm voice. Establish a therapeutic relationship with this person, and also involve some other multidisciplinary team to help in developing a care plan or bringing a suggestion on what to do next for the patient.
That's good. That's splendid. Well done. Well
Thank you.
done. Well done. It talks about you approach the situation calmly. That's communication. You try to understand the problem, because you cannot just go into a problem without understanding the problem. You try to understand the person, not understand the situation, understand the person, the patient as a person, to find out what's going on. Is he a thing of misunderstanding? Is it a thing that they need education? You understand? Is it a thing that probably something is going on in their life personally? Is it just the environment? Maybe they're not comfortable with the environment. Maybe they might benefit from a day out and come back. So understanding their needs, tailoring your care towards the need, family involvement if necessary. If it needs to involve like educating, involving other team members, maybe they will prefer to listen to the doctors more, involving them if necessary. That's other multidisciplinary team. Being there for them, show them that you care, show them that you are ready to listen, create an atmosphere of trust. So well done, you have done so well. Well done. Now I'm going to call somebody, okay? And there's someone that is called Baba. The person has one glasses beside the eye. Name is Baaba. Baba. Can you unmute your mic?
I'm here. I'm here, please. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
So your trust that you applied for, what is
Yeah.
your trust value?
Oh, okay. Their trust value includes respect and care and compassion.
All right. So
Yeah.
can you tell me, in your current practice in the past 12 months, how you have demonstrated respect, care, and compassion?
Oh, okay. I am a very compassionate person in the sense that I treat my patients with absolute respect while providing my care. I do not force my patients to receive treatments when they are not ready, because sometimes you come to attend to patients and they tell you they are not ready for treatment or give you some reasons which are not, very valid. But I make sure that I listen to the patient's needs and explain to them if the care is something I should provide immediately. I calmly explain to them why they should receive the care at that time, and if it is something that I can maybe withhold for some time, and I can.
Pause. My question to you is, I'll go again. Your
Okay.
trust value is respect, compassion, and care. Can you
Yeah.
tell me, in the past 12 months, how you
Okay.
have demonstrated this in your practice? So you must
Okay.
have done it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. I was moving away. All right. Sometime in my previous place of work, I was meant to administer a medication to a psychotic patient. And when I came to his bed, he was very aggressive and he said that he wasn't going to receive the treatment at that time. So I was able to, calm him down and ask him what his reasons were for not receiving the treatment. And he was able to explain himself. So after listening to him calmly, I was able to explain to him the reason why he needed to receive the treatment at that time, after which he accepted to receive the medication. And also, some other time, I was supposed to, I don't know, I'm sorry.
It's something you do every day. You know it, so go on.
Okay. So the other time I was meant to to insert a catheter to my patient. So this patient was placed in a general ward. So I understood the need for privacy. So I made sure that I screened my patient and provided her with enough privacy to ensure that she is comfortable enough to, receive the procedure. So these are the few times I could tell you that I have and always, maintain respect and compassion. I'm sorry, please.
You did well. What are you sorry about?
Okay, thank you.
You did well. All you simply needed to have done was to use the start technique directly. Talk about the situation. Talk about what you needed to do. Talk about what you did and what happened at the end. Okay. So the first one,
Yeah.
yes, you went through that technique. The second one, you just went straight because probably you're like, oh my God, I'm not sure. No, you are sure. It's what you do. You're sure? Protecting somebody, giving respect. You did that. You respected her by providing privacy for her. Another thing you could have added was maybe she because I was a male and she wanted and she felt a bit so had to get a chaperone who was with me to make her feel comfortable. And I explained the
Okay.
procedure to her that calmed her nerves. Okay. When her nerve was calm, I told her I'll be gentle and I'll do it quickly. And that was it. And I did it with a chaperone there. And she was very
Okay.
grateful. She apologized, but I told her not to worry, that you understand. And that's why you got a chaperone for her. So that's real respecting her. Okay. You could be in a
Thank
situation
you.
where someone did not want to eat a particular thing and people were wondering why. But when you went to meet them and you found out that the person was actually is against the person's religion to eat such things. And so you are respecting that person. It's something that happens every day. It's not a big
Okay.
deal. Okay. So
Thank
you
you.
know it. All right.
Thank
So
you.
so I want another person to tell me their trust value. Quick, 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 quick. This is the trending question going on everywhere.
I would
I
like
would like to talk.
to talk about my trust value.
Okay, all right. Tell me, what is your trust value?
My trust value is respect, compassion, and responsibility.
Okay, now we've talked about respect and compassion. I want you to tell me how you have demonstrated responsibility in your practice in the past 12 months.
Okay, thank you for the question. As a community mental health nurse, one of the ways I've demonstrated compassion is in my
Not
role to be
compassion, responsibility.
responsibility is to be honest to my patients and at my duty post. I ensure I document every procedure I carried out in a concise way without duplicating, without falsifying documentation. I also carry my, I'm also sincere with my patients when it comes to explaining every procedure to them. I, I present to them the situation of things as they are, and I make them understand what is obtainable and how it can work out well. In addition, I'm always eager to learn. I'm always eager to take up responsibilities. I'm always eager to learn from subordinates and from other superiors. Additionally, ambitious in my role. I always want to do better. That's how I've been able to achieve my role, to take up responsibility as a community
I'm not
mental
sure
health.
you answered my question. I asked you to give me a scenario. Did you give me a scenario? Unless I missed it. I said you should give me a scenario, like a situation that happened and how you demonstrated your responsibility in that scenario. So I'm expecting you to give me a situation. So I want people not to be making this mistake. They ask you, can you tell me when you have demonstrated? What they want to hear is you telling them what you don't. I don't want you to come and be telling me, I'm going to do this, I'm going to learn from my colleagues. No, I want you to tell me what happened in that situation, that responsibility was needed, and how you step up and you took that responsibility and the result. So now tell me about a scenario where you have demonstrated responsibility.
Okay, thank you for the question. In my previous role as a community mental health nurse, I was opportune to I was given an opportunity to go for a training. Actually, I've never been in a situation like that before because I thought it would be demanding for me to attend due to some situations at hand at the time. But however, I took up the courage to to go ahead with the program, and I was able to attend. Along the line, I was able to acquire more skills, which gave me opportunity to learn more and to meet other professionals. And when I came back to my duty post, I was able to apply it in relating with my patients, which helped me to add more skills to myself. I don't know if I-
Okay, that's fine. You could have also gone in this place that you were given an opportunity to go for a training because there was a challenge in the world and they needed someone to go for that training to implement it. And you were able to take up that responsibility, went for the training, and came back and was able to teach the fellow people, fellow nurses in the world, and what you have learned and ensure that the standard of care was improved. And you, with you taking up that responsibility, or they needed someone to do that, and you took up the responsibility to go for the training, you were able to teach the nurses in the world. You guys were able to set up a standard of care, and that improved the care within the world. All I just did was to fine-tune your situation that you just said now, which is there was something that happened in the world that they needed someone to go for training. You volunteered to be the person to go for the training. You went for the training and you're able to come back to teach the world. And now the world have improved in their care. Do you understand?
Yes.
And that shows clear responsibility. You understand? So you can go in another way. Okay. Oh, okay. So something happened in the world and we were short staffed. And because we were short staffed, we didn't know what to do. So because I was the most senior nurse, I took charge of the ward. I made sure the ward was safe. I made sure I communicated with the senior, the main supervisor of the ward. You understand? I tried to calm the ward, make sure we did priority. I ensured that I supported the junior nurses. We documented. We made sure that the ward was safe. That's another way of taking responsibility. And at the end of the day, we were able to pass through the night. It wasn't so easy because we were short staffed, but we tried to ensure that we did priority of care. And the care that could transit the next day, we made it go there. And the ones that were urgent care that needed to be done, we made sure that they are done accurately. That's another responsibility. Another responsibility could be I saw a patient was crying, and I saw patient relative or patient relative, you just noticed something was wrong and you stepped up to ask what was happening and you offered your care, ensuring that you went on and beyond to advocate for their needs. Advocation is responsibility. Do you understand? There are so many ways, so many. Okay, to show how something happened and something needed to be done, and you stepped in, or something happened. Maybe I don't want to use the case of where you made a mistake. I don't want to use that because they could also ask you a question. Can you tell me a situation whereby you made a mistake and how you were able to overcome it? You should understand that in that situation, if you listen to our previous video, we always say, don't put your mistake as something that are essential nursing rules, like medication, administration, documentation, IV giving, all these essential critical nursing rules. Make sure that your mistake is not like that. Okay? You can say, okay, there was a time when I was still learning as a student nurse. Are you hearing? Wisdom. When I was still learning as a student nurse, I was supposed to document I helped one of my nurse empty the urine bag. I was supposed to document it. And I forgot to, and I treated it. And she asked for it, and I realized, oh, I've forgotten it. And then she coached me the importance of documentation. And ever since then, in my practice, I've made sure I've implemented it. It's as simple as that. There was a time when I was a student. There was a time when I was learning. There was a time they brought a new equipment to our department. We didn't really know how to use it. So I tried to learn or try to do it, but then I made a mistake in handling it. Luckily, we didn't use it on any patient. We were just test running it. But then I realized the importance of always checking the manual before using or going to seek for higher authority. And ever since then, Whenever a new equipment is being bought, I make sure that the due diligence is being taken so that everybody fully knows how to operate the equipment before we use the equipment, so that it won't get spoiled again like the previous one that happened that day. It's very safe. Nobody is harmed. You are just practicing with the equipment on his own. So it's very, very important that we have such concept, okay? Don't say something that is very heavy, that is detrimental, that can affect them, this thing, that can affect them, the care of patient. No. Don't say something like that. Now, let me ask you guys a question about medication administration. You were a person and you observe a colleague of yours has made a medication error. What will you do? One person answer that question. Second person, you just made a medication error. What will you do? And the patient has taken it. What will be your next point of action? The third person, hope you guys are hearing the question I'm asking you. The third person will now answer, what are the steps towards preventing medication error in the healthcare setting? Okay, 3 people, first, second, third. Go on. Your time starts now.
Um, if I should be in a scenario where I notice that a colleague of mine made a medication error, the first thing I would do is, um, let me use the STAR method. Let's say I'm in the ward, in the main medical wards, and as I'm passing by, I heard my colleague or my fellow nurse say that she made a mistake in drug administration to a patient. The first thing I will do is that I will talk to my colleague about the medication error for them to know that what they have done is quite wrong. And I will talk to the patient that I will take the patient's vital sign first to ensure that the patient is stable. Then after which I will talk to my patients. This is to respect the duty of condole for them to know what has transpired. And also I will reassure them that every step we're taking for them to know, for them to be fine. And after I'm done with the patient, I will talk to my colleague and let them know that this can be prevented by them probably being attentive and ensuring that they ensure that the patient is the rightful one for the drug administration. Then also I will carry out um, incident form to put this in documentation that this happened during that was taken for the patient. Then also I might tell my colleague to report to the ward matron or the manager for them to know about this incident and for them to refer to the doctor so they can still perform their own routine check to ensure that this patient is not in any form of harm that will cause that will be detrimental to their health. So that's what tomorrow.
Good, yes. The colleague of yours should make sure they tell the doctor. They don't need to even tell the senior person to go and tell the doctor. They need to go and let the doctor know immediately so they can come and assess. Then you can also speak to the colleague if they will need support, training, because at times the person might not just know that what they did was wrong. You know, there was a time I was giving medication in the hospital, and patient was on TPN bag, and patient was supposed to go for CT scan. And I disconnected the TPN bag, and the patient was supposed to go. And then one of my senior nurses came in and said, "You're not supposed to do that." I was like, "Really?" Because I sincerely did not know. She said, "Yes." I said, "Okay." I wanted to go and reconnect it. She said, "No, you're not supposed to do that." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because the moment you disconnect a TPN bag, you have to go and get a new TPN and restart it all over again with a sterile technique." I didn't know about that, but she has taught me that. And then she asked me, she came in and she was supporting. I was saying, "Do you understand? Do you need support and all that?" So that's a way of still ensuring that, asking the colleague, "Do you need this? Do you need support? Do you need further training?" You understand? This will enable them know. Oh, TPM bag. Okay, that's total parental nutrition. You know what TPM is? Total parental nutrition. A patient that cannot have feeding via the NG, they cannot have via PEG, they have to have it via the IV, via the IV line. So they have to put a type of, it's not the normal IV line they put, it's a PIC line they have to put in their hand or a central line on their neck. So they feed them already digested food. It's prepared by the dietitian. They connect it straight into their blood. Okay? So it's very important that you know, like, if they need for that training. Okay, so it's very important, and all these things are experiences that somebody learn over time. Okay, now they ask sorry, okay, so you have a patient that came to the world and the patient is suicidal patient. How do you manage them? Oh wait, you guys have not finished my question. No, and you no have not answered my second and last question. Please answer it, Joe. To be
Okay, the
fair, it's
second
similar
one.
answer anyway. A
The
similar answer.
second one, yeah, is somehow similar, but I think when you said the second one, you say when the medication error has already been given. Okay,
Yes.
first thing to do, one, you have to ensure the patient safety first. You have to assess for any potential harm to the patient. You assess the patient, and after the assessment, um, you have to inform the prescriber or the nurse in charge or the pharmacist. You inform them about the medication error that have been done. After informing them, and you you now have to inform the patient too and the relative. Be apologizing, or I don't know what apologizing is there, but you have to inform them that medication error have been done. Then you make sure you follow the hospital policy in reporting incident, in writing the incident report. Make sure you follow it. Then after doing the incident reports, you also document in the patient medical record about the incident, the error that have been done. Then you also have to seek for support, like you said, trying to get some extra education or learn on that, and also trying to teach others about the error that was done, so that others will make the same mistakes you did.
Good. Well done. The one thing I like is the fact that you started with you assess the patients. Scene safety. First rule of OSCE. I enter the room, I check for scene safety. The scene is safe to approach. I go and ask my patient, what is your name? Remember OSCE then. Number one, always check for the safety, patient safety. Observe. Make sure you also if you report to the doctors, okay, let them come and assess the patient as well too. Inform the patient what has happened. If there's need for maybe any allergic reactions, like maybe patient have anaphylactic, you give the anaphylactic. Make sure you document or what has happened. Make sure
In
you
that
inform your team.
what's it called? When you are doing XBAP for in-hospital resuscitation, they talk about 4 T's and 4 P's.
So it's
4 T's
important that
that's in hospital station.
Yes. You are doing the XBAP.
okay.
Hypovolemic.
Oh yeah, the 4 P's. If you are doing what are they calling it? The resuscitation of a patient, especially if they have like cardiac arrest and all that, for you to check to find out what they actually have. Is it hypovolemia? I can't remember. There are up to 4 P's and 4 T's and 4 H. Can't remember all of them anyway. But yeah, if you can add, it's fine. But if you cannot remember, don't go and tie your place yourself in a place that you cannot remember. At times, you can just say a vague word because they already understand. Oh, we'll try to resuscitate or give allergic anaphylaxis medication. You already know. Because different medication or different stuff differs in different places, different protocol. They have every hospital have their own protocol that is written in a paper. You see in an emergency, someone will pull out the paper and stand and read. Okay, we start now. And have you done this? Yes. Okay, move to the next stage. Have you done this? Yes. Go to the next stage. Have you done this? So everybody have their different control. You understand? But if you know it's fine, but if you don't know, don't get stuck. Okay. So that's also true. Thank you for that. Thank you for adding that as well too. So let me, and then the last question which I asked you about how to prevent drug errors. So I believe that you to prevent it's not, it has not happened now. Always make sure that you do all your checks, all the checks, the right patient, the right dose, the right time, the right rules, the right prescription. You check all of that. Okay. And make sure that you've observed the patient as well to check the patient's allergy. All right, those are ways to prevent all that. Check the expiring date of the drugs. So you not give an expired drugs, So it's very, very, very important that you check all of that, all those your checks, both the patient factor check, your own factor check. If you are not sure, you don't give, you ask for assistance. The medication factor check, confirm the prescription is the right prescription. Okay, so that look like 2 and it's not 2. There was a time I wanted to give a medication. I have many stories. And we saw 12 milligram on that station. And we started thinking like, this is 12 milligram. We don't give 12 milligram. Most of the time it's 4 milligram we give. We wanted to go and give it. We look at this medication again. We said, no, something is wrong. We then looked at it again. The doctor went to go and prescribe. It's supposed to be the maximum dose in 24 hours is 12 milligram. Where he's supposed to put maximum dose 12 milligram, he went to go and put 4 milligram in the main prescription. Sorry, we went to put 4 milligram, we went to put 12 milligram in the main prescription. If we had not looked at it the second time, okay, an error would have been made. So you also need to listen to your own conscience and have understanding of medications, because someone that does not understand what that medication is, what it is used for, the maximum dose the patient can take at once, will make a mistake. So ways to prevent drug error is to remember that you have to know the drug, you have to know their usage, you need to know their right dosage. Apart from just the prescription, you need to understand the mechanism of those drugs before you give it to the patient. Okay, it's very, very important. I'm giving you live example now. So whenever they ask you this question, remember all my stories. You go and tell them. Anyway, that's fine. So let's see if there's any other one I want to add. Of course, I will soon call it a day. A patient relative came to you and complained that the nurse spoke to their mother rudely. I want to lay a complaint. What will you do? The patient relative came to, and you complain and came to complain that their mother, sorry, the other nurse spoke to their mother in a rude way. What will you do? What will you do?
Let me try.
Okay, go on.
Okay. If please, can you come back again with the question, ma?
So a patient relative, right, told you
patient
that
relative. Okay.
yes, that someone spoke to their mother rudely and they want to lay a complaint. What will you do?
Okay. If I have a patient relative that wants to lodge complaint about their mother, I will give them listening ears with my good communication skills. I will listen to them. I will validate their feelings. Another thing I will ensure is that I will let them speak their mind, because I really want to know what has happened that makes the relative to come and lodge a complaint to me. I will give them my full attention. And after I've gotten enough information from them. If it's possible, if it's appropriate for me to apologize, I'm going to apologize in that kind of situation. And if not, I will try as close as possible to tell the relative that proper actions will be taken and appropriate measure be put in place so as to avoid future occurrence of that issues, as well as I will report to my charge nurse what has happened and I will document appropriately. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Also, you need to tell the patient the right channel to complain, because they must still go and complain their complaint. No matter what you have done, give them the way to go and complain. Yes, all you have said is correct. Okay, that's what you were supposed to do. Okay, but still remember, at the end of the day, you still need to tell them the right channel to go and lay their complaint, so there's no look as if to them.
Okay.
So they might not go and complain at the end, though, but it's not look as if you are trying to prevent them from complaining. You tell them, yes, you will do all the stuff, all the things that you have said. You need to say it. Yes, you've done the right thing by saying that, but still add at the end that also I will give to them the right channel to make their complaints. So,
Okay.
yeah. So there's nothing like hiding anything. Everything is transparent. Let them know. If you want to complain, go and complain. Okay, but not that you to go and let them. You just need to go through the what you like, all the parts you have said, whereby you've communicated to them, try to understand, try to apologize if something, try to see how you can, maybe it's a misunderstanding, try to resolve it, try to report to your seniors, try to see how ways to prevent it from happening again and all of that. That's all fine, very beautiful, you've done well. But remember to add that you still tell them the means of complaints if they have to complain. Now you have a suicidal patient, okay? How will you manage that patient? How will you manage patients with suicidal? I believe this is the mental health people, because that's your common question. You guys are suicidal patients and safeguarding. Please go and know all of them. If you don't know them. If people will not answer, I'll move to the next one. So, what I want to tell you guys, right? Just in case we finish this, because I will soon round up. There are things that you need to know when you are preparing for interview, okay? I've told you guys, know the policies, know the principles, know the safeguarding, know the all the things that you need to know. Know the 7 pillars of clinical governance, know the 6 C's of nursing, know how to manage conflicts. I did not ask you for any conflict questions, but conflict questions could be like, you had a challenge with one of your colleague that was abusive to you. How do you resolve it? Okay, I just asked you a conflict question now of a patient relative that came to complaints to you. Okay, a patient, one of your HCA came to report to you that the nurses shouted at her in front of a patient. What will you do? These are conflict management questions. How you manage conflicts. One of your colleagues just came in the middle of your round and shouted at you. What will you do? A colleague of yours is having issues with you and is affecting the care. How will you manage it? Those are conflict management. Okay, those that are general nurses, adult nurses. You enter a patient's room, a patient is on the floor. How will you manage such situation? What are you checking for? Okay, you are checking for scene safety, which is number 1. You are assessing the patient based on what the patient is unconscious. You know how to attend to the patient. If the patient is unconscious, they might even tell you. You enter the patient room, the patient is unconscious. How will you manage it? You enter, check for safety, assess unconscious. Is it breathing? Is it not breathing? If it's not breathing, check the pulse, start CPR. Remember that the first thing you need to do is just to call for help. And other management carry on from there. Okay? The entering patient has a fall, check for safety, assess the patient, any wound, any injury, what's their GCS, are they still alert, call for help. Help comes, get the patient to the bed, tell the doctor assess the patient, you to assess the patient, keep monitoring just in case patient might go for scan or anything. Make sure you document. If the patient wants to tell their family relative, make sure you tell the family relative what has happened. Make sure you escalate it. Make sure you put in measures to prevent falls in the future. Like, because this is another question too. How can you prevent falls? Make sure the bed is in the lowest position, the sideways are up, there's good lighting, no spills, the right footwears, everything are within the patient's reach. These are things. How to prevent pressure sore. Check the skin, okay? Make sure they have good nutrition. Make sure there are no creases on the bed. Repositioning of the patient regularly, okay? Very, very important, all of that. Good hydration, preventing pressure sore. So these are ways to prevent pressure sore and so many others, okay? Risk assessment, how can you prevent infection and control? You enter a patient, you see a doctor in the ward. The patient enters a room that says, it's clearly stated, infection and control measures should be taking place. But if the doctor entered there without gloves, without apron, and came out, not even wash his hands, what would you do? How will you approach such situations? Okay? What is your escalation process? Okay? Tell me about yourself. Why do you want to work with us? Okay? Why do you have interest? What is our trust value? This is the most common question these days. How have you demonstrated this, the trust value in your current practice? What is care? What do you understand by quality care? To you, what does it mean to you to render quality care? How have you gone far and beyond for your patients? Okay, these are all the things I'm telling you. There's no way, and I tell you today, tomorrow, next year, there's no way they will not ask you a question out of it. As a mental health nurse, tell me, demonstrate a time in which you have carried out a mental health assessment of your patients. All these things, you must already have something you want to say. A nurse that is a theater nurse, so there's not theater on the group. Your patient comes back from theater or after surgery, his blood pressure is low, okay? His heart rate is high. His oxygen saturation has dropped. What will you suspect? How will you manage your patients? Very important. You know definitely that could be shock. You need to check, assess the patient head to toe. Is he bleeding? Because it could be the patient is losing blood. It could be the patient is hypovolemic. He lost too much blood in the theater, might need more of IV fluids. How will you manage that? Okay, fluid resuscitation. Informing the doctors in case there's any bleeding or anything. Okay? At times, people should say you should elevate the leg part of the bed. You don't really do that in the UK, but yeah, you can do that as well too. Monitor the patient blood pressures and all that. Take some bloods and send if they will need to send for blood samples. So you need to send some blood so that they'll go and check the HB and come back if the patient will need blood transfusion. Okay? You brought a bag of blood transfusion from the lab, and you find out that the patient reacted to it. What will be your next step of action? People working in theater, these are your questions. What will you do? Those working in the normal wards, you have a patient, blood pressure is low, heart rate is high, temperature is high, urine is smelling, urine output is low, patient is getting confused. How will you manage the patients? That's sepsis. Buffalo is the management of sepsis. Monitor their urine, give them blood, and also send their blood sample to know if they will need blood or not, or check what's going on. Maybe their CRP is high or whatever. Fluid balance resuscitation, antibiotics, antipyrexial. Okay? Check their lactate, give them oxygen. All right? I'm just telling you guys though, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? We've talked about that already. You know what to do when they ask you that question, when they ask you this type of question. Okay? I've talked to you about drug administration. They can ask you to do drug calculation. What do you understand by mental health capacity? See, there was a time, the last 2 or 3 interviews we did, I asked this question. Number 1, conflict management. Number 2, mental health capacity for those in the mental nurses. So, number 3, the Mental Health Act. You understand? I asked also, told them to go and read up on the risk assessment and safeguarding. And I tell you, 2 people got that same question, relatable question in their interview that week. And they got the job anyway. So it's all about, like I said before, it's all about preparing yourself. It's all about knowing what to expect. Okay? It's all about knowing what to expect. It's all about understanding what to expect. And I've told you guys what to expect in your interviews. Very, very important you understand that there's no way. Nursing, all we've talked today, that's what nursing is all about. It does not pass those nitty-gritties, nothing else. So it's about how you apply yourself to it. That gives the answer. There's nothing that goes about. They tell you your patient have low blood sugar. You should know what to do. You know what to do. You also know you need to reassess again after you've given maybe tea or juice or glucose juice, whatever. You have to reassess again to be sure it's gone up. If it's not gone up, patient needs IV glucose. Inform the doctor to come in to do their own assessment. But make sure that you be with the patient and the patient blood sugar comes to stability. Okay? I wish all of you success, okay? That's the end of our section today. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's been
a
pleasure being with you guys for the past 2 hours. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good night,
you.
everyone. What I want to remind you guys is we're
Please,
finished this
when
interview,
are
right?
you going to post this?
It's automatically going to reflect
Hello?
on the moment we finish, it's going to reflect on the channel. I just want to tell listen, whether it's prison healthcare for a mental health nurse, it's still mental health related question. You understand? It's not like, so they'll probably be asking you questions on aggressive patients. You understand? So if you know how to manage aggressive patients, you should know how to work in a prison. You know how to handle suicidal patients. You know how to handle patients that have criminal records. So remember that while they have criminal records, you still need to treat them with dignity and respect. You understand? It makes you know what to give. So please, we finish this interview section. We need you guys at the end of your interview to please send us your question, not because you want to use it for anything, but because we want to put it on the go for others out there to learn as well. Because most of the questions we ask you is based on repeated people, they ask similar questions, so people keep submitting their questions, and that's how we're able to host this interview. Like we said, the interview is free. We don't charge anybody for it. We simply just want to give our own back to the community. As people has helped us, it's good to also help people. But please do not forget, it pays to help others. So it could be tomorrow you want to change your trust to a better trust, and you need these interview questions. So one way or another, it might still help you. So please try to pose the questions. We have our OSCE starting on Friday. If you know you want to go about the self-sponsorship pathway, it's up to you to join the class or not. I wish all of you success. Does not mean that if you have success, you cannot still go for an OSCE class, because it's to give you an edge over other people before you get back to the UK. So I wish you all success, and I hope that we get so many good results after this interview. Bye.